Mohsin Hamid's The Last White Man, summary of chapter 13. Una's mother might feel pride that she was the last one remained as white, means not turned to dark. But it wasn't like that. Conversely, she admitted that it was how things were. She went to Una's bedroom and found her asleep. When Una woke up, she got frightened after seeing her mother sit beside her. Her mother didn't like it. However, now her mother turned dark. Una was very sad for her mother, for she believed that her mother was broken and could commit suicide. Therefore, she had the watchful eyes on her mother. Conversely, her mother didn't show any sign of fatal step. Rather, her mother was improved or at least relieved for now. Nevertheless, it was not an easy time for her mother. She was stunned. She didn't want to speak to anyone other than Una. She decided to recluse herself for some time. And she started watching the social media feeds for her acquaintance who turned dark with renewed attention. Her now dark friends had now begun posting their pictures of their new selves on Facebook. For Una's mother, it was as if they were participating in the scandalous downtown masquerades. In the scandalous town-wide masquerade, but Una's mother didn't participate until now. Una had a fear of her mother's harsh reaction towards her own color change, and she also didn't know when would that reaction come out. The alternative case was, as Una imagined, her mother might not show any negative sign or despair on her change. It was just that Una had overestimated her mother's fear. It definitely made sense for Una that her mother was mourning over the loss of her husband and her son. But what comforted Una was when she saw her mother looking at the profile of a couple of dark men and women. Una wasn't sure whether or not the dark, handsome couple was familiar to her mother. Furthermore, Anders' father died in the morning last night. Anders was with him. His father was breathing his last breaths, labored breaths that took him out of him. Anders didn't weep first. Right at that moment when he was with his deceased father's body, he got a call which he didn't like it, because it was so profane that it spoiled the sacred immediacy at the moment. However, he then started weeping so loudly that Anders himself got surprised by it. Later on, Anders received call from Una, but he didn't speak. Una understood what had happened, therefore now she was with him. Anders' father had already educated Anders about his funeral services. A man from the mortuary arrived and readied under Anders' fathers for burial. After all the necessary obligations, they left the funeral ceremony. Now Anders was on his way back home. The day was normal, as if nothing had happened, and that made Anders unslept and red-eyed. Anders thought that he should be with his father, burying him with his own hands. His father was an integral part of his life, and now he thought that something special was missing in his life. Una didn't prefer to say anything other than calming him down with the word love. Una intermittently said the word love, and it pleased her so much, as if she had tested the word and now experiencing it. She had unwavering belief in love now. Anders had realized his father up to the extent that he started thinking to deck his father's grave so that to connect with Anders' past time. And to do it, to have connection with the past, why not to deck his grandfather's grave then? He almost called for the men to deck the graves but declined the idea regretfully. In the funeral ceremony of his father, Anders met some unfamiliar people. It was just after their introduction, Anders got to know them. However, Anders' father was the last white man left in the town and now buried.